Melody has once again proven why she is unstoppable, and why no amount of negativity from Martell Holt or anyone else can slow down her success. Recently, Melody dropped a new product, and it sold out quickly. While she was celebrating her win and giving God the glory for everything in her life, Martell was out here embarrassing himself again. He actually went so far as to call on black people to stop buying Melody's products, accusing her of being abusive, and trying to discourage her supporters from uplifting her. But instead of hurting her business, his words only pushed people to buy even more from her, and she continues to shine while Martell keeps dragging himself lower. The funny thing is that this is not the first time Martell has tried to attach himself to Melody's success. Do y'all remember when he was trying to market that wine that he claimed was inspired by his grandmother? He tried to make it sound like a family legacy product, but people quickly pointed out that he only launched it because Melody was selling out her products, and he wanted to compete. He told the story about it being tied to his grandmother, but the truth is, there was no real inspiration behind it other than his desire to copy Melody. And if we're being honest, Martell has shown time and time again that he struggles to build something on his own without attaching himself to someone else, especially Melody. It's actually sad to watch because Melody has always been someone who works hard, builds her own path, and creates new opportunities. She doesn't sit back and make excuses or throw blame. She just does the work and stays focused. Martell, on the other hand, seems to want people to believe he's smarter than he is, that he's more successful than he really is, but his actions and his words tell another story. He's constantly contradicting himself. For example, he claims he makes more money than doctors, but then he's out here begging people not to support his ex-wife's business. If you're really that successful, why would you even care? Why would you even give energy to what your ex is doing unless it's eating you up inside? Melody, on the other hand, continues to celebrate her wins with grace. When Martell tried to stir up negativity by posting that message about not supporting her, Melody didn't even get mad. Instead, she turned it into a positive moment by putting out a discount code, no weapon, giving her supporters half off the entire site. And the response was massive. People rushed to buy her products, and she made an incredible amount of money in just one weekend. That move alone showed her wisdom and her ability to turn negativity into motivation. It also showed her faith, because she tied the discount code to a powerful biblical message: no weapon formed against me shall prosper. And once again, she proved that Martell's attempts to tear her down only end up helping her elevate higher. It's almost like Martell is living in a cycle of frustration because he can't seem to figure out how to move forward. He's so caught up in trying to stop Melody or make her look bad that he doesn't realize he's making himself look worse. This is the same man who once lived a lavish lifestyle, but after his marriage ended and his bad decisions caught up with him, he found himself at the bottom. He lost his marriage, his family unity, and his financial stability, and now he's clinging to anyone who will listen to him rant. That's why people joke that he and Ariane, or Coleslaw as some call her, spend so much time sitting in cars talking on live. They don't have real ventures or accomplishments to speak of, so they sit around complaining and gossiping while Melody is flying to Paris, building her empire, and preparing for major events like New York Fashion Week. And speaking of Paris, Melody shared that while she was overseas, she was still working hard. She said she was up at 4:30 a.m. teaching her property preservation course and her e-commerce and marketing course. She was also working on the lookbook for her athleisure brand SAB, which is set to be featured at New York Fashion Week on September 16th. That is a huge accomplishment. It shows not only how dedicated she is to her brand but also how much her work ethic separates her from Martell. While he's busy ranting online, she's networking with professionals, collaborating with global brands, and preparing her line for international recognition. Melody also revealed that she's been working on a new perfume line. While in Paris, she visited Molinard, a famous perfumer that has been around since 1849, to test fragrances and bottles. This is the kind of high-level business move that sets her apart from her ex. She's not just throwing out products for the sake of saying she has a business. She's working with established creators, taking the time to carefully craft something unique for her supporters, and building her brand the right way. She's thinking about presentation, smell, packaging, and overall experience. That's why her products continue to sell out and why she has such a loyal following. On top of that, Melody also announced the return of her Winter Wonderland event. This event has become something her supporters look forward to, and she's bringing it back with ticket prices set for both VIP and general admission. The fact that she continues to expand her reach, not just through products but through events, shows her versatility. She's not just one-dimensional. She's building multiple streams of income and multiple platforms where people can connect with her brand. When you compare that to Martell, the difference is clear. He spends time online making accusations, playing the victim, and trying to paint himself as someone who has been wronged, but the reality is that his actions show a different picture. He's constantly attacking Melody instead of focusing on building his own life. He even tried to twist the narrative around their past relationship, claiming that he wasn't aggressive and that Melody was the one who had issues. But those who have followed their story closely know better. People saw the red flags long ago, and his attempts to rewrite history don't match the reality that fans have already witnessed. The saddest part is that Martell doesn't seem to understand that his bitterness is only pushing people further away from him. Every time he attacks Melody, people rally around her even more. Every time he tries to discredit her, she finds a way to shine brighter. And every time he tries to stop her bag, she makes even more money. His own words are literally working against him. It's like Melody said, until he does right by her, nothing he tries to do will work out for him. And that's exactly what we're watching play out. What makes this whole situation even more powerful is how Melody handles it. She doesn't waste time going back and forth. She doesn't lower herself to his level. Instead, she lets her work speak for itself. She drops new products, sells them out, travels to Paris, and gets invited to New York Fashion Week. She makes big announcements about new lines like her perfume, and she continues to give opportunities to her supporters by offering courses and mentorship. Her focus is always forward, not backward. This is a major reason why people respect Melody so much. She's proof that when you keep your focus on your purpose and your goals, no amount of negativity can hold you back. Martell tried to make people believe she was the problem, but what people are really seeing is that she is thriving without him, and he is struggling without her. She is the blueprint for what it looks like to keep faith, work hard, and stay true to yourself no matter what others say. And let's be clear, Melody's success isn't just about proving Martell wrong. It's about creating something lasting for herself, her children, and her supporters. She is showing her kids what it looks like to overcome challenges, to rebuild after heartbreak, and to stand strong in the face of lies. That kind of example is priceless. Meanwhile, Martell is still trying to figure out how to stay relevant. He tries to link up with Destiny, he tries to stir drama online, and he tries to make people believe he's living large. But when you compare the receipts, Melody is the one with the real wins. She's the one securing international deals, teaching valuable courses, and being featured in major events. He's the one ranting on social media. The contrast couldn't be more clear. The reality is, Martell's attacks are nothing new. He has always tried to use manipulation, excuses, and deflection to avoid accountability. But people are seeing through it now more than ever. His comments about black people not supporting Melody backfired badly. Instead of turning people away, it turned into a shopping spree that left her making thousands in a single weekend. That's the definition of God turning evil into good. No weapon formed against her prospered, and that's exactly why she's thriving. Even other content creators and commentators have pointed out Martell's patterns. They've called him out for his narcissism, his inability to move on, and his need to always try to dim Melody's light. But none of it works because her light is too bright. People connect with her authenticity, her transparency, and her determination. That's why her supporters continue to show up for her in such powerful ways. And when you look at the bigger picture, you realize that Martell and people like him only serve as lessons. They remind us of what it looks like when you don't take accountability and when you let pride destroy your future. But they also remind us of how strong someone can be when they refuse to let bitterness stop them. Melody is using her story as fuel, and she's building an empire in the process. This is why Melody's journey is so inspiring. It's not just about reality TV drama. It's about resilience, faith, and perseverance. It's about showing that no matter what someone tries to do to stop you, if you keep your focus and trust God, you will rise above. Martell's disgraceful attempts to block her blessings only highlight how powerful she really is. Because while he's stuck in the past, she's building the future.